So this is Christmas. Ghostbusters is here. I've seen the movie. And now I'm filled with cheer. I'm not tone deaf, but I'm also not, I should probably leave that shit to like Mariah Carey and stuff. But,
oh yeah.
Dude, I have been we have talked a lot about my excitement for this episode.
Big time.
We have not talked about my reaction, my response.
Right.
I saw this movie.
Well, we went over it when we did the we did the walkthrough and we scripted our answers. But other than, you're right, we haven't recorded our responses.
Scripted them and changed them a little bit so that they weren't entirely true, but would sort of convey better on the podcast and stuff. Yeah, sure. Fudge the facts the way we normally do.
Yeah.
No, listen, but we have not talked about it. And I saw this movie Tuesday. I have tickets again to see it Saturday. My sister's talking about seeing it, so there may be a third viewing happening.
Good gravy, man.
But I have been waiting for this movie
since 1984.
For at least 10 years. For at least as long as I've been old enough to sort of be a part of the movie news circuit and have known about canceled sequel, threequel, whatever, canceled movies and shelved scripts and come on, Bill Murray, get your shit together and just agree to come be in it. We know you want to move on. We know you're not, you're a true friggin' thespian now with your lost in translation bullshit. But
whoa.
But come on, Bill Murray, it's Peter Venkman. Just come be in Ghostbusters. Just come F and do it. I've been waiting for this movie for so long. And then 5 years ago, it was like, we're getting a new Ghostbusters movie. Finally. And then I saw the trailer, and I don't know that a trailer for a movie's ever actually made me throw up in my mouth.
What?
But it was bad. The all-female Ghostbuster one.
Oh, sorry.
Holy
yes.
crap.
Yeah.
And that's in, you know what? The comments and the assumptions are going to be like that this is coming from a place of misogyny and whatever. No, it's not. It's coming from two places. It's coming from, I am a Ghostbusters friggin' diehard fanatic, which means anything other than the Ghostbusters that I know and love is going to be an uphill battle to get me to enjoy it. And it also comes from a place of, it's just not a great movie.
No.
Like it is just bad. It's just a bad movie. Are there funny moments in it? Absolutely. Do I think it's funny? Do I enjoy it as a comedy? Yes. Is it a good Ghostbusters movie? No, it's horrible. It's a horrible, horrible Ghostbusters movie.
Right.
Anyways, all of that aside, I was so friggin', from the moment they've announced this movie, which feels like forever ago, and it kind of was forever ago because of the pandemic, and
unfortunately,
because of everything else. But here we are. It's happened. I've gone to go see it. You've gone to go see it. We have not compared thoughts, but hello and welcome.
Welcome. Well, a couple things. A lot to digest there. First, as you alluded to, welcome to the Movie Men podcast. You started.
Do you think that'll work? Can we start recording? You think I wanted to run the
run it through
past you.
one more time, okay. And then we'll get there.
Okay.
No, you started with, this is a little tangent, but you started with singing and that specific song, and I felt like we were either one of two things, and this is just what I associate that song with. We were either part of an advertisement for like a Humane Society ad for like cats.
I was going to say, I couldn't place it, but isn't that like the Starving Africa song?
Either that or like Humane Society, like, please donate $1 to save this cat.
Which is it a Paul McCartney?
Yes.
Is it a Beatles song?
I don't
originally
think so. I think it's just a solo project.
Okay. But it's okay. No, I didn't mean like collectively. One of the Beatles.
Wait, no, yeah, it's Paul McCartney for sure.
Paul McCartney. And then it's one of those songs where since then, like, you know, like Billie Eilish and Eminem and whoever the hell else got together, like they've done versions of it, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. One of those big like collective, all the celebrities came together and sang to raise money type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I felt like we were either in one of those ads or personally in my childhood, I feel like that song was like playing on an endless loop in the department store formerly known as Zellers for Canadians. And if
for old Canadians.
For old Canadians, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, regardless, we are neither of those things. We are the Movie Men Podcast, and we're doing a new release of a film that you are jazzed about, and I'm sure also a lot of other Ghostbuster and movie goers alike are jazzed about.
Well, hang on. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Sure. Okay.
I was jazzed to see it. I don't want to. Sure. I don't want to show my hand yet. Maybe I've seen it and now I'm super not jazzed about it.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Hopefully that's not the case. But it could be. I could be here to say, the hell, man, the hell was that? But yes. Do you have trivia?
I do not for this. Okay. It's hit or miss for new releases, and this one I do not.
Yeah, good. No, that's cool. So do you want to shall we? Is that a yes? Are we just jumping in?
I think so.
Okay. I said shall we, and you got real quiet.
I get a little. Sorry, I was kind of distracted. I kind of have to backtrack. I think it was maybe John Lennon and not Paul McCartney, and it was really bothering me.
I wondered. I was going to say John Lennon.
You're
right.
Was
it Paul McCartney?
We can agree that it was one of the Beatles, and I'm pretty sure it was John Lennon. So
I think we can agree it wasn't George Harrison
or Ringo Starr
or whoever the fifth the guy that makes all the noise because he was the fifth Beatle and they like stole all his. You know the guy I mean?
No.
Oh no! Okay, hang on.
I'm not big on Beatles, and I'm not here to smash them. But Peter Jackson Beatle. Just released that new that new documentary on the Beatles, and I've never been so not interested in anything in my life. And everyone's like losing their mind, like, oh my gosh, like I'm staying up watching this all night, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Because what was his name? There was a guy. Actually, I think there's been several. I think there's been several that are, come forth and claim to have early members. Pete Best whines a lot about. So okay. So you've got obviously John Lennon,
sure,
Paul McCartney, George Harrison, Ringo Starr.
Yes.
And then there's a touring musician called called
that would be
Jimmy
baller
Nicol.
As hell.
Same thing. Honestly, sometimes you put a guitar in their hand, they're magic. But there were three other drummers.
Oh, okay.
Right? So three drummers. They went through, from the year 1960 to 62, they went through three drummers.
They do call drummer the widowmaker of band members just because they just, bad things
But the two
happen.
I've heard of are Stuart Sutcliffe, I think. And I've definitely heard of Pete Best. And Pete Best, I don't know if there's bad blood. I don't know if it's one of those like he left willingly or
sure.
But he is often referred to as the he was musician known as the drummer for England rock band immediately before the band achieved worldwide fame. Sucks. And so he would have been like, he might not have, Ringo might not have made it. But anyways, So let's talk about Ghostbusters.
Yes, sorry.
This is a movie, so you have only seen, I assume you didn't rewatch the other two in preparation.
I rewatched the 2016 version.
You bastard.
Just
you
kidding.
Dirty
No,
bastard.
I did not. I did not rewatch.
Okay. It's a little bit of a shame that you didn't, only because the film is so chock full of references.
I got that impression.
References and symmetry and sort of all this beautiful, wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about some of those.
Sure. Yeah.
So the movie starts out, and so obviously from the original cast, the Ghostbuster actor who is no longer with us is Harold Ramis.
Right.
And who played Egon Spengler. So that was always definitely going to be a consideration going into this movie, making this movie. We don't have Harold. So, what do we do? And I think they, from that standpoint, from a what do we do, how do we sort this out? I think they nailed it. I think it's a beautiful sort of tribute to Harold, who was an actor. He helped write the original, right? Like him and Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis wrote the original Ghostbusters.
Oh, really? Okay, yep.
Oh, yeah, it's their baby. And so I think showing him at the beginning, as obviously there was like a stand-in actor, and they didn't ever reveal his face at the beginning. But you knew, you could see like the brim of his glasses and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
You kind of knew, okay, this is Egon. And it was shrouded in a lot of mystery. What is he like? Why is he here? And what is he running from? What's chasing him? And then we see him get killed. And it's like, whoa. Okay. And so that was really interesting. But I liked it. I dug it. I was like, okay, yep, I'm here for it. So throwbacks to the original. So all throughout, I mean, obviously the trap is original.
Yep.
The Twinkie in the glove box is a throwback.
Oh, I wondered. Okay.
So there's he talks a lot about, or there's a line in the movie where they're trying to explain what's going to happen. I don't know if they're explaining it while they're in jail or if they're explaining it to the mayor shortly after. But they're talking about like, they're trying to convince someone of like what's about to happen to the city if they're not allowed to go do what it is that they need to go do.
Right.
And they use a Twinkie as a reference because they happen to have a Twinkie on hand or something. I don't know.
Sure.
And so there's that. There are things like at one point, Phoebe reaches into a pocket of one of the jumpsuits and she pulls out a Crunch Bar wrapper. In the original Ghostbusters, Peter gives, there's some sort of inside joke where Peter's like, you know what, Egon, I take back a lot of the horrible things I've ever said about you. And he pulls out a Crunch Bar and hands it to Egon and says, here, you've earned it. And and I don't know if that's, I don't know that we're ever supposed to fully understand that. There's probably some like, I think that's just establishing that these guys have history.
Oh, sure.
And there's some sort of long-standing bet or something. I don't know. That's going on there.
Okay.
So that's definitely a throwback. There are some things that have changed. So if you are a diehard fan and you look super close, there are, over the years, there have been some subtle, but definitely some subtle, but some present alterations that have been made to the proton packs. And so that's interesting to see. Obviously, a gunner seat has been added to Ecto.
Right. Yes.
We have the addition of remote control ghost traps now. So there's a couple of different things that have changed. Other throwbacks to the original, when in the basement of like Egon's sort of lab, his under the farm, his lab there. There's a shot where we see all these different like funguses and molds and stuff. And that's from a line in the original Ghostbusters where Annie Potts' character Janine is chatting up Egon because she's got a crush on him and whatever. And she's like, I just love to do this and I love to do that. Do you have any hobbies? And he's like, I collect mold spores and funguses.
Oh,
That's his, and it's just a funny like line from but so anyways, so those are the big ones. The fact that Ray is working at Ray's Occult and Books, which is the store that we see him working in at the beginning of Ghostbusters 2, when they've kind of disbanded for a while and like gotten a bad name in the city. So he's working there. Ray's Occult is how he answers the phone. So that's a thing. And then then the other stuff is like Ivo Shandor. So we hear a lot about Ivo Shandor in the first movie, because in the first movie, Dana Barrett's building, which is like the top of the building is where Gozer's coming through, and the gatekeeper or the keymaster and the gatekeeper and the dogs are up there. And all of that stuff, and then the portal opens up, and they have their big cross the stream showdown on top of that building. So the architect who designed that building, his name was Ivo Shandor,
right?
And so they talk about in the beginning, Ray's like poring over the schematics for that building, and he's like, the beams, like the structural supports of this building, are made out of, and it's some kind of metal or mineral or whatever. But he's like, and Winston, Ernie Hudson's character, is like, I guess they don't make them like they used to. And Ray's like, they never made them like this. Like, this is like the guy, whoever made this was either a certified genius or a lunatic. And they say, like, the whole thing is that building was built and designed to be a superconductor for like dark paranormal shit. It acts as like this big antenna for, dark energy.
Right.
And Ivo Shandor was a cult guy, but specifically became a Gozer worshiper and all of that stuff. Right.
Sure.
And so he built this building as a way for the second coming or the third or fourth or whatever coming, another return of Gozer. So then it turns out Somerville is a town that was basically built by Ivo Shandor, and that Ivo Shandor was using this mountain, and he mined all of the material to build that building out of this mine. And there's like a steel refinery thing there where he refined it all. And the town it's a mining town that was built essentially by him and his mining operation, so that he could build this evil place and do all this stuff. So that was like a really crazy cool throwback.
Okay.
To the original. So yeah, those are the massive, and then we'll talk about one or two when we talk about the cameo at the end.
Sure.
But yeah. So I don't know where to go. There's so much to talk about. Like, what do you is there anything, like, do you want to jump in here? Jump in.
It's hard to know where to go, because mine are a little bit more kind of just comments, or like overall comments or questions.
Right. Which is, so I guess I would say, like, this film is not made for someone who hasn't seen the original Ghostbusters. I'm sure you will enjoy it, but the enjoyment level difference between having this be the first Ghostbusters movie you've seen or being a fan, like, this film is full of fan service.
Right.
And so if you're not a fan, I'm not going to go as far to say as you can't enjoy this movie or you won't enjoy this movie. But there's definitely a lot in here. If you're not a fan, there's definitely a lot in here that is not directed to your psychographic.
Which I think I was a little surprised. I think I was expecting, I know it's a sequel, so I think you have to go in with some expectation of it's obviously like a carrying forward. I think I was expecting more of just a rebirth and just kind of being a little bit more separated. And I'm not saying that would be better. I think that's just what I was expecting. And I think I was surprised by how much of a continuation it was, and that it was some of this, it was definitely very connected to the original films, and obviously the main characters don't show up till a small portion at the end, but their connectiveness to the whole story was, I think, a little bit more present than I was anticipating. I was anticipating maybe just more references of, like, say, for example, like the Twinkie rolling out, things of that nature that are just subtle, that like might be at the end of scenes that are just nods, but not so much here's an actual, a continuation of the story, I guess, versus just head nods or hat tips. And I think that I was surprised by that.
Whereas literally the plot of this film is about a sort of a continuation of, there's some references to the second Ghostbusters, but really it's about sort of a reoccurrence, the ramifications, the fallout, the reoccurrence of the Manhattan cross rip, of when Gozer came and the Destroyer showed up and chose the form of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Right.
It's all a massive callback to that.
It's less of a rebirth that maybe I was anticipating, and it's really a conclusion, like a wrapping up of what we didn't realize were unfinished threads from the first film.
Sure. And it's, in some ways it's a wrap up, but in other ways, like, did you stay for both post-credit scenes?
Oh.
Oh, so you stayed for one. You stayed for one.
I definitely stayed for one.
Ah.
Oh.
Uh-huh. Okay. So we will talk about that in a minute.
Sure.
But yes, you stayed for one. That's great. But yeah, so I do think in a lot of ways it's a revival of the franchise too, though. Like, I think this film and sort of the intent of this film was to open it up for more to come.
Sure.
So yeah. So let's talk about this movie. So Paul Rudd's in this movie.
Oh, thank you for bringing that up. I'm cutting you off, and then I'll let you continue.
Okay, go ahead.
But I'm going to say two things that if our power goes out and this is the end of the episode, I'm okay with it ending on this. Paul Rudd, we always knew this, the friend you want a beer with, but also Paul Rudd, the stepdad you want.
Oh yeah.
Heck.
Or the summer school teacher.
Heck yeah.
Because if a summer school teacher is going to show you
like the
Child's Play 2 and Cujo.
The stuff he was showing, my gosh.
Paul Rudd is always good. In this movie, he's phenomenal. He is hilarious in this movie. He is so funny.
The only thing I'll pick from that is I would say this film is no different from other. Like, I think he's excellent in everything, and this is no different. Versus he's good in everything, and this is excellent. Tomato.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I think for me it was like, again, everyone in this movie who wasn't a part of the original, I was approaching with some trepidation.
Sure.
And so if you came out of this movie and you didn't annoy me, or I wasn't like, you don't belong here, why are you here? Then that's a gold star on your fridge. That is, that's a huge achievement. And so there was never a moment in this film where I wasn't delighted and super, super happy with Paul Rudd.
Sure. Oh, heck yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Speaking of Paul Rudd too, this is a Paul Rudd moment. I think if this film is to win any awards, it's not a Best Picture nominee. It's not a Best Actor. It's not, this is not like traditional major Oscar type thing. But if there was a category which was most accurate portrayal of the Walmart experience,
what?
Then this film would get it.
What do you mean?
The second the Walmart thing, okay, so two things. One, I don't know that I've ever actually seen the inside of Walmart in a movie before. And it was so strange because, so I saw this movie so this is like part of sucking me in or whatever. This was an IMAX experience for me. I went and saw this in IMAX. Okay. And so, oh God, like the rumble when the proton pack turned on, like and like the theater shaking and stuff. And you're like, holy, yeah, it was amazing. But he's walking through Walmart and it was just so weird because it was like, yeah, you see people go, you also don't see like a lot of McDonald's unless it's like a movie based on McDonald's or something. Right. So, but like, and then even, how like McDonald's all around the world is different. So like, if you see like as Canadians, all these movies and stuff, a lot of movies are shot most movies take place in the States. And even a lot of movies that take place in the States are shot here in Toronto or Canada or whatever, Vancouver. Yeah. But it's always meant to be America. And so, you've got like the McDonald's or the Dunkin' Donuts or whatever that, stuff is. It's never Tim Hortons. And it's like, that looks a little different than my McDonald's. Walmart is Walmart, baby. And so like, as Paul Rudd's walking around Walmart, and I'm like, there's like a skid in the center of the thing with like stacks of Mr. Noodles on it and Arizona iced teas and then Nestle Parlor ice cream. I was like, I freaking have bought Nestle like I've walked these aisles. I have done the things that he is doing, and I do them weekly. Like, I don't know why that stuck out to me, but the Walmart sequence was so much fun for me. I was like grinning cheek to cheek, and I didn't know why. I was like, this has got to be the most accurate film portrayal of Walmart that anyone has ever. Because normally, he's in a random grocery store. Right. There was no reason it had to be Walmart.
The closest I've seen is I think I've seen like Costco.
Sure, yeah, I mean that's but then even still, yeah, and you're like there's Costco is Costco and Costco is very much its own thing, but it's not like super heavy on the branding where it's like, This is freaking Walmart. Like top to bottom, down to the yellow price stickers and like everything. Right. I was like, I don't know why. That Walmart sequence made me grin cheek to cheek, ear to ear. I don't know why. I
really didn't notice, like, the more you're talking it up, I am kind of in agreement. It was kind of surreal. Maybe it's just so relatable. I think that's maybe it. And
I think but that's what I loved. I was like, oh yeah, oh my god,
for sure.
Paul Rudd is just people. I'm people.
Yeah, that's part of it too.
Walmart.
It's like
I shops at Walmart.
I like ice cream too, Paul Rudd.
Yeah. I don't buy Baskin Robbins.
No, listen, we all have a budget here.
We don't, because we put all of our Patreon money back into the show.
Right.
Instead of our own pockets, we buy the Nestle Parlor ice cream instead of Baskin Robbins. But yeah. And actually, you know what? That doesn't surprise me now because there was obviously Baskin Robbins was a sponsor of this movie. That's like
for sure.
Paid advertisement because there's a Baskin Robbins. Actually, there's two Baskin Robbins not far from where I live. And Baskin Robbins right now has a Funko Pop figure, which is a mini puff holding a Baskin Robbins spoon with like some mint chocolate chip ice cream on it. It's like a Baskin Robbins exclusive Funko Pop, Ghostbusters Funko Pop. So,
dang.
Yeah. But yeah, that's scene. And the other really nice thing, so the mini Stay Puffs, they're cute and it was funny. It kind of felt out of place to me. I was like, I don't know. I don't hate this, but I also don't know if it's working for me.
Sure.
So I was kind of in between there. But what definitely did work for me is when the dog shows up, the Zool dogs. Practical puppet, man. Like that dog, except for when it's like running and stuff, but when it's just like in the aisle and it's like eating dog food, that is like a foam latex
Interesting.
practical prop sitting there. And it shows. You're like, that's not CGI.
Right.
That thing is actually sitting there. And I appreciated that so much.
Interesting. I'm not sure if I was able to pick up on that, but that's
you got to watch an IMAX, man. IMAX. That's it's really where it's at. And because because IMAX is a different aspect ratio, I technically saw more of this movie than you did.
There you go.
Yeah. So, Ivo Shandor. Did you pick up on who was playing Ivo Shandor?
Oh, did I?
What a weird. So there's two.
So weird.
There's two characters, two actors in this movie.
Okay.
Both are big name actors.
Okay.
Both have very minuscule roles.
And
one even more minuscule than J.K. Simmons.
So, okay, thank you. And just for the listener to bring them up to speed if they weren't aware, who's the second?
The actress who is playing the physicality of Gozer. Because Gozer, obviously, the actress is different than the person doing the voice, is different than, whatever else. Can you guess?
I have no idea.
To have this actress and then cake her in makeup and then not even have her say any lines. Like, it's literally just her physicality. Like, you could have put just about anybody in this getup. It's not a hard acting job or anything. But it's Olivia Wilde.
What? Why?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have exactly. Why? Why pay for Olivia Wilde just to cake her in Gozer makeup and then not let her say anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. And then if anything, it bothered me because I could pick up on, like, I was like, that's Olivia Wilde. And I saw it and I was like, that's distracting me from that just being Gozer. Because I know it's Gozer, but I also know that's Olivia Wilde. I would rather that have been a nobody. Because
right.
I don't want to recognize Gozer as anyone other than Gozer.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about the new characters. So Phoebe, I could sit and watch Phoebe all freaking day.
Well, I'm glad you said that because so could I. She was
Phoebe
amazing.
was incredible. She's so good. The actress is incredible. I don't know if you've seen. So if you watch like an interview with her, out of character or whatever, she's got like straight blonde hair and is like.
Oh no! Okay.
She looks nothing like that.
Interesting.
She looks like, she's like a popular kid in school. She's like a little celebrity Hollywood actress. Like she's an attractive little girl. That's weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like she's different than the eccentric kind of.
They dweebied her up. Immensely.
Yes, I understand what you mean.
And so but she's incredible. She is incredible. Finn Wolfhard. I'm a little. I don't know. I mean, he was in Stranger Things. Obviously, is how he got his big. It's why everyone knows him.
Oh yeah.
And then he was in the It movies. He played one of the kids in It.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I wasn't looking forward to him being in it because I think I'm kind of over him. But I didn't mind. I thought he was good. I thought he fit the role well.
Sure. And he was like he was a main character, but compared to like Phoebe, he was a bit more peripheral, so I could live with that. Yeah.
Podcast I found really funny. He's a great comedic relief.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't need you as a Ghostbuster though. Like moving forward, like if we do a sequel, I don't actually need you like in the car. Like, I don't know. I just, and then he when they all suit up, he like tears. Obviously, he tore the Spangler patch off the suit and wrote podcast on it. And I was like, you little prick. Like, do you even, like, who the hell are you? You ripped Spangler off of this thing and put your own freaking name on it?
That's true. Like, know your place.
The hell is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Lucky left Spangler on hers because,
yeah,
she's like, I respect. But even Lucky, I was like, you're, and then she was like of the team once things got rolling, she was the most useless one. Like, she was just there to be the pretty girl that Finn Wolfhard's character had a thing for. In the whole final showdown, she didn't really play a big role. Yeah.
Maybe I'll paint. This is a good. I do have some questions about what I would change, and that maybe I'll use this as an opportunity to bring one up just about that.
Sure.
So I do feel like part of me, and it extrapolates a bit more than just her, but I do feel like for me there was almost a scene missing somewhere from the whole movie to the final climax and conclusion of the film. And I don't know what I needed. I don't know what was missing, but just something to kind of progress and enrich our characters more and maybe make me care a bit more. And the reason I say that is there was all the excitement that happened, everything that went on, and sorry, I always mispronounce his name. Is it Finn Wolfhard?
Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah. When he goes to see his friend who's, in the shell of the former monster, like ghost, and like her and Paul Rudd are breaking out because they're now saved. When Finn goes to get her, and it's like, "Hey, you okay?" Or I don't even remember what he said. It wasn't, "Hey, here's one character with another that I'm really invested in." It was just two people on a screen that I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot they know each other." And it felt like a bit of a jump where it was like, "Hey, yeah, we're going to get like some real depth here of like, hey, I'm Finn, why are you here?" "Oh, well, my mom's broke. We moved here because my grandpa lived here, yada, yada, yada." Where are you from, girl?" And she's like, "Hey, yo, I've been here for 4 generations. I'm stuck." And he's like, "Hey, do you ever want to leave?" And then like, that's it. That is it. And I just wanted a bit more to say, hey, let's get the Stranger Things vibe. Let's get the It vibe of like some progression so that when that happened at the end, that they were disconnected and then reacquainted at the end. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. And for me, it just personally was like, oh, I forgot they knew each other. And
yeah,
a little bit with Paul Rudd, I was okay with the amount that we saw with him romantically involved with the mother, but literally when he was possessed partway through, I was also like, oh, that kind of sucks. Not just because I want to see Paul Rudd, which I do, but I also just wanted a bit more progression with him and the female acquaintance that he was interested in, and the kids and so on and so forth. That more so with Finn, but a little bit less so with Paul Rudd. I was also like, oh, and right, he's okay too, and we're going to go see if he's okay. And so I guess I just felt like I needed a bit more character filler to get me to the end to be a bit more invested.
Yeah.
About I guess more so Finn's Finn. But anyway, that is one thing that stood out to me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. I kind of thought Paul Rudd was going to be a Ghostbuster. Like at no point is he, he ends up playing a role sort of like what Rick Moranis plays.
Yeah. And listen,
which means like so much so that if they do another one,
sure,
and it takes place in New York,
okay,
as the second post-credit scene kind of suggests,
sure,
might happen.
Okay,
like I don't know that it would make sense for him to be in it.
And see, I think again, I was expecting a bit of a rebirth in here. That I don't think I had the label of I'm expecting Paul Rudd to be a Ghostbuster, but I think watching the film, I think I would have been really pumped if that had happened. And again, I'm not just saying that because I like Paul Rudd, but I just think the chemistry would have been right for who he was on screen and just who he was supporting the children and doing this and doing that. But now that you've verbalized that, I'm a little disappointed that that's not the case, at least so far.
Yeah. So you're talking about things that didn't really work or that you didn't, that you would have changed. I've got a couple. I already kind of said, the mini pops. It was okay. I didn't, whatever. There's a couple little ones, and then there's kind of a big one, and the big one kind of segues into something.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So the little ones are, there was, like the ghost of Egon is there, and he's kind of nudging us along and pointing us in the right direction. But there were a couple of times where it was like, where people just kind of conveniently knew what to do. Like I'm thinking when Podcast knows A, how to completely pilot that remote control trap.
Sure.
And B, knows what the levers in the back of Ecto, he knows which levers to pull to open up the ramp on the, and it's like, you guys just got in this car.
Yeah, that's true.
And you guys are trapping ghosts and catching ghosts, and all you've seen is the infomercial from the 80s. You haven't seen footage, or you weren't around. You've just heard. Phoebe's just heard of the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And so that was stuff that I was like, there were a couple of times where there were like super convenient plot progressions.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
There were a couple other times where it was like, okay, this is like a shitty movie trope where, so Finn's character, why can't I remember his name?
Just a sec. Trevor.
Yeah, what's Trevor? When Trevor is like up smoking weed and shooting heroin and shooting off guns and whatever on top of, Mount Shandor there.
Oh, yeah.
And a ghost flies out.
Right.
And everyone starts laughing at, like, what the F? What do you do? That everyone, nobody's got an issue with that. Like, it scared the shit out of you, and now you're kind of laughing about it because you were startled.
Yeah,
and
it's true.
Like with reckless abandon for what the hell actually was that? Can we talk about what the hell that was?
Yeah,
like, that's not a thing. The other thing, there's just two things. One thing that is a big issue that I have with the film, but isn't the segue. The other is not an issue I have with the film, but it's a major personal criticism. So the big issue I have with the film is, I think, much like, and this is a trap that all films that are throwbacks or revitalized, 30, 40 year later revamps or revivals of old series is something they fall into.
Okay.
This film, some of its biggest weaknesses, some of the things that makes it not feel like Ghostbusters and not have the charm that it deserves, is compared to the first two. This film relies way too heavy on action. There's almost no action in the first two Ghostbusters movies. Very little.
Yeah.
Is not about action. It's about, they rely on wit, they rely on good storytelling, they rely on funny characters.
Yeah.
This one's got like car chases through the town and all of this stuff. And it's like, okay. but Ghostbusters was a very no frills kind of operation, and that's partially what made it so funny. Was that they were just a couple of guys that had gotten booted off of campus, and like what they were doing was serious, but they were never like, like they're going after ghosts like Slimer.
Right.
And giant marshmallow men. And yeah, Gozer is a badass and the dogs are kind of freaky, but it's not like, it's not this big, like, freaky kind of light show thing. And so that there's too much action, too many action sequences and too much, over the top spectacle with the remote control car and the spin outs and whatever else. Like I just, I don't know.
Okay.
The segue criticism. had this been, this is I haven't said it yet, but this is a good movie.
Okay.
I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
This film would have been perfect. However, if it had been solely a story about the 3 surviving Ghostbusters who are in their late 60s, early 70s, and have to come out of retirement to go, and they're complaining about the, I don't remember this job being so painful. I do. Like, had there been more than just 10 minutes with the originals, that's all I wanted, man. Like, I so badly, and I was really, really, really enjoying the movie. And then the OGs showed up, and then I was loving the movie, and then the movie ended, and I was like, God, I wish the whole movie had been like the last 10 minutes.
Right.
My God. Like, I laughed harder than I have ever laughed in a movie in a theater. I was laughing out loud in the theater, and I don't do that because I find it embarrassing. But I was laughing out loud in a theater full of other people who weren't laughing out loud. I was audibly the one finding it funny in the room. 2 examples, 2 hilarious examples in this movie.
Sure.
Of really funny moments in that final 10 minutes.
Okay.
One is they're both throwbacks to the original.
Sure.
Obviously, the first one is when Gozer turns to Ray and says, "Are you a god?" And in the first one, Ray turns back, looks at Peter. Peter kind of like nods, like, yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
And Ray turns around and goes, "No." And then Gozer says, "Then die," and like zaps him with this horrible stuff. And Winston says, "Ray, when someone asks if you're a god, you say yes." And it's so funny. It's an iconic line from the original.
Sure.
And so in this one, Gozer turns to him and says, "Are you a god?" And Ray stops and starts thinking about it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And all the other Ghostbusters are like, "Really, Ray? Really?"
Right.
And then they all go like, "Oh yeah, actually we're all gods." We're all, like, that was so funny. The other is in the first one, and this is the type of humor of Ghostbusters. This is why the original 2 Ghostbusters are so damn flawless. Is when Ray goes up to raise the first one to like confront Gozer on the rooftop. And I've pulled up both quotes here. The one from the old one and the one from the new one. Ray says, "Gozer the Gozerian, good evening. As a duly designated representative of the city, county, and state of New York, I order you to cease any and all supernatural activity and return forthwith to your place of origin or to the nearest convenient parallel dimension." And Bill Murray says, "That ought to do it. Thanks very much, Ray." It's so like the way a cop would say through a megaphone when there's a guy up in a building with a It was just so formal.
Yeah.
And it was so funny. And in this one, very similar. Ray's the first one to approach. "Goes to the Gazarian. In the name of the county of Somerville, state of Oklahoma, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and all members of Ducks Unlimited, the Association for Advancement of Retired Persons, I command you under the National Invasive Species Act to depart this world immediately." And Bill Murray goes, "Bravo, bravo." And it was so funny, and I was laughing so hard in the theater. Oh my goodness. So that was amazing. The fact that they did not, all of the things that were like felt like the original. The fact that they didn't change the car at all. Well, I mean, they gave it like a couple updates and stuff, but the siren is still that near, like that really horrible, but wonderful in its own way, ecto alarm siren. The fact that they didn't try to update the proton pack effect. That proton stream looks as cartoony as it ever has. It's bright, it's ridiculous, it's silly, but it's Ghostbusters.
Yep.
And it feels like Ghostbusters. That was so good. That made me so happy. Other callbacks, like the fact that, we've got the dogs, and then the lightning comes down, and they, this is a supernatural things, I think, have a tendency in our lore to work like tradition is a thing. They work a very specific way, very ritualistically. And so the fact that these two dogs go and they hunt down a man and a woman, and that man and woman have to have a little hanky-panky, and then they both get zapped by lightning, and they both kind of like arch over and turn into the dogs, and the line like mom, 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 and mom goes, "There is no mom, there's only Zool," which is a line that Sigourney Weaver speaks in the first. Like, it's I just did remember that. So wonderful. All of the ties and the connections, and it's so good. So good. And those are things, that's why I say, like, this film is meant for me. It's meant for the diehard. It's meant for, this is something I wanted to say to you.
Yeah.
And if you say anything other than yes to this question, you're a damn liar. You know how there are things when you think about your parents, when anybody thinks, this isn't like specifically you thinking about your parents, but this is anyone thinking about their parents, therefore it also applies to you. When you're thinking about your parents and you're like, for the most part, no complaints, you got great parents. But as an adult now, like even with your own kids and stuff, you like think back to your childhood, and there'll be a couple of things about like your parents' parenting method or their approach, or what they did, and you'll think to yourself, maybe it's just like one thing, just one small minor thing, but you'll think to yourself, thank God I turned out so good despite the fact that this, that I can't believe that's what my parents did.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everyone.
There's always a there's criticisms.
Yeah.
And it's no slight against our parents. No. Whatever. You guys did great.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters and my love for Ghostbusters is an example of my parents having done parenting right. The fact that I grew up knowing and loving Ghostbusters is can only be attributed, like that's something I discovered because we had the VHS, and because at some point likely my father would have said, "All right, son, today's the day."
Right.
Today's the day you're going to watch Ghostbusters. Right. And like any kid, I got hooked with the proton packs, and it had all the pseudoscience gadgets, and it had everything, and there were enough jokes that I didn't get, but enough jokes that I did get, and it was just so, and the giant marshmallow man and the car and the and the song, and there's so much. Ghostbusters, I think, is so successful and it works so well because of the iconography. There's so much about it that is very iconic. It's an iconic outfit. It's an iconic car. They have iconic gadgets, right? Iconic song. And I think that is the workings of a major fan base. That's something that
for sure
that lends itself so well to being so popular.
Sure.
Yeah. Damn, I love this movie.
I could tell.
I love this franchise. It's so good. Question.
Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to ask you a question to a non-fan.
Sure.
Is that fair? Is it fair to call you a non-Ghostbusters fan?
Yeah, like a non-lifer, a non-grew up with it, non-tattooed above my buttocks. Yeah.
So, end of the movie.
Okay.
Egon shows up.
Yes.
Like actually a full-formed floating vapor.
Yeah.
Holds because we've already tried, 3 of us have tried crossing the streams, and 3's not enough. It's going to take 4 like it did last time. grabs Phoebe's proton wand, brings her over, the whole thing, and then he like meets his grandchildren, like plays with their hair, does that whole thing. Ray, in tears, says, "I'm sorry, I didn't believe," because there was like, the first we hear really from Ray in this movie is Ray saying, "Egon Spengler can rot in hell for all I care."
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, what has happened? What is,
Yeah.
Did you get emotional during that whole ending?
Emotional's a bit of a strong word, but I appreciated it.
Oh, I wept.
I mean,
like I had physical tears running down my face.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't there because I'm not as invested in the series, but
Sure.
I'm not I think the point you're trying to make was it not emotional? And I have to go, absolutely it was. Like I'm not a robot. I can totally appreciate what was going on there.
Sure.
I want to spin the question to you.
Yeah.
Because I will agree. I don't think I have any problems with that scene at all. And you said I liked, like, as in Brady, as in co-host, as in, I don't know how else to describe you, but...
I'm familiar with myself. Yep.
You said, hey, I like this movie, and then when those 3 original actors showed up, then you said, ooh, I wish they had been here more often.
Yeah.
So, I agree that last scene was emotional, and...
Yeah.
What a unique situation that we can have a series, like a film that is a way to, like, only in this circumstance could you have such a scenario where you have someone return who's unfortunately passed away in real life, and it kind of makes sense with the tone of the film and the series. Like, it's
being a ghost.
Very unique opportunity to have, and they did it well. Like, they executed it well, and it came to a head very well. I think I just want to ask you point blank, because you enjoyed this film, was this a good sequel, or was it 2 hours of setup for one amazing fan sequence?
That is really interesting. I think it's a good sequel. I do. I think it's a good sequel.
Okay.
I think it's both.
Sure.
And the answer is I think it's both.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Do I wish there was more of the originals? Yeah, absolutely. Because every moment with them, I loved. Every line was golden. Right? Bill Murray saying, "Hi, Pete Venkman from the Home Office, and you are." Right? Like, just the sarcasm in so this, which I found out was an improvised line.
Oh, really?
Right before they're about to blast Gozer. And Bill Murray says, "Okay, on the count of 3, go on 2, 1,
right.
2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally improvised. Like, no one knew he was going to say that. But it's so good.
Doesn't
it's like,
surprise
you
me.
go, oh, okay. The second he says that, you're like, that's a quotable line. That's a line that's going to be on T-shirts and shit. Yeah, so I think it's both. Okay. I do think it's both.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
So you only saw one post-credit scene.
I did.
So the post-credit you've seen is a callback to the beginning of the first Ghostbusters, where Pete Venkman he's trying to test the effects of negative reinforcement on psychokinetic whatever abilities. And famously, there's like a cute girl who he's saying gets all the cards right, even though she isn't. And there's a guy who's getting some of the cards right, and he's still zapping him. And so it's him and Sigourney Weaver back as Dana, and that's it's cute, it's fun. She's like they're a bitter married couple now. Yeah. The only thing that I kind of wish had happened in this movie that didn't happen in that scene and was kind of like a missing tie. Obviously, we don't see Harold Ramis. We also don't we don't see Harold Ramis. We also don't see Rick Moranis.
Right.
we don't even get an update on Oscar, Dana's son.
Huh.
You know, we don't get any kind of like, where's Oscar now and what's up with him? You know?
Yeah.
So it's whatever. Like, so then there's a second post-credit scene right at the end. And it's, do you want me to talk in actor and actress or character names?
Go actor, actress.
Okay, so Ernie Hudson and Annie Potts are sitting.
Yep.
And they're having a chat about, you know, the originals. They're just kind of reminiscing about the original team.
Sure.
And Ernie's in his, you know, Ray talks about, like, you know, Ernie's like a billionaire now.
Sure.
He's like a multi-billion-dollar mogul, whatever.
Right.
And so he's in this like really fancy condo, whatever, and they're talking office thing. And he's talking about how, you know, he originally all he was looking for was a steady paycheck, but being a part of the Ghostbusters taught him this and it taught him that and all of these things, and that, you know, first and foremost, he will always be a Ghostbuster. And then as he's talking that, we see this footage of him, because so there's a moment where it starts with, was this in the end shot of the movie? No, it's part of the scene. It's the Ecto driving across the Brooklyn Bridge back to New York.
Yes, that was in the movie. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because he talks about he's looking at the car at one point in the movie, and he's like, you know, oh, look what they've done to you, and you know, it's so rusty. He's like, don't worry, baby, I'll get you home and I'll get you cleaned up or whatever. And so, and Annie's talking about, you know, like, she's asking Ernie, like, are you still paying Ray's rent and stuff like that? And he says, oh, you know, Ray's gonna turn a profit someday. And, you know, he's just like, he just loves and cares for all of them and, you know, whatever. And the final shot is, well, the final sequence is as he's talking about this stuff, the doors, it's an internal shot looking out and the doors of the firehouse open. And it turns out that the firehouse being turned into a Starbucks isn't actually true. It's probably just a lie that Ernie told Ray so that Ray's heart didn't break. But the thing's like condemned. It's like it's just dusty and shitty and empty and probably hasn't been. The firehouse isn't a Starbucks. It's abandoned. But Ernie still owns it or does own it or has bought it or whatever. And the doors open and he's like, he's using his hands to sort of signal and guide someone in who's driving in the Ecto. And it's like, oh, he's going to clean it up and he's going to get this thing going, which raises so many questions because it's like, so who's going to be, because like arguably I doubt any of them are going to play a prominent role, if they even play any role in the next one. It'll be mostly around these kids, but then like, so how does that work? So Phoebe and Trevor, I mean, they don't, you know, Phoebe, Trevor, and their mom, if they can go live at the firehouse, they're going to go live at the firehouse because
for sure
they don't have a great living situation right now.
No.
Where the hell's Podcast's parents? Podcast isn't going to get to move to New York.
Yeah, that's true.
Lucky's dad isn't going to let her just leave and go be a Ghostbuster in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
So is it just going to be Phoebe and Trevor and then Ray and Winston, like Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson? Because I'd rock that. And Bill Murray kind of shows up occasionally, and maybe Oscar. Maybe Oscar's gonna lead a new team and show up and be like, you know, that stuff's kind of cool. Podcast was fun comedic relief, but whatever. Go home, kid. Work on your podcast. Yeah. So anyways, that's all interesting. And then the final shot of the second post-credit scene is a slow panning zoom in shot on the red containment system in the basement that Mr. Peck the EPA guy from the first one went and had them shut down the containment thing. It's like, whoa, like if you shut this down, we will not be responsible for it. He says, I don't give a rat's ass. Shut this down. Shut it down. And then the roof like blows off and all the ghosts get out and stuff. You sort of remember that?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. So it's a zoom in on that thing, that containment unit that they were emptying the traps into. They were containing all the ghosts in there.
Oh, okay.
And there's a red light on it that's flashing, and it's maybe going I'm not sure.
Sure.
It might just be flashing, but it's like, it's clearly, you get the vibe looking at it. Oh, it's not supposed to be doing it. Something's not copacetic here.
Sure.
So definitely setting up a future.
Okay.
I have no idea what the hell that's going to look like.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But there is supposedly more.
Contractually, has a sequel been announced or nothing?
No. So the official word is that there are several future projects in the works, but that's not necessarily, like, who knows?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, like there's nothing official.
Sure.
There's no, like, nobody signed on and like, oh yeah, we have this release date and
Right.
It's been greenlit.
Right.
So, yeah. Do you have anything else, sir?
I don't think so. I think the only thing I'd say is I felt like the first quarter to the half, maybe the pacing I wasn't the biggest fan of. I felt it was maybe just a little bit slow. And
I felt that. I was like, when is this going to become a Ghostbusters movie? Like, it's just a lot of setup.
And it's a weird thing to say because, although I'm saying the pacing is slow, I also agree with you that I wasn't a fan as how action heavy it was. And it's just a weird combination of, well, I guess it actually kind of makes sense. Like, it's the story that I felt was pacing slow and action didn't necessarily set it up. So the more I'm talking about it, it kind of makes sense. But so I guess if I were to change something, I'm not sure if I'd keep the pacing the same as it was at the beginning. I'm not sure if this falls into something I'd change, and this is the only other thing I want to add. I think it's maybe something I've just learned about Ghostbusters is when I was expecting a bit of a rebirth and a change, I think I was excited about things like when Paul Rudd finds the ancient map of the town and we see this mine shaft that, from 100 years ago from, some weird connection with the engineer from the building in the first film and, just all these mysteries that we don't have answers for that makes it creepier. Like, how is J.K. Simmons still physically, like, not just dust? And,
he's in good shape.
All these.
I like that he gets ripped in two, though. That just show he's that dummy that's like, oh yeah, this ancient Sumerian god is going to
favor me,
be my wife, and like we'll rule the world together. And Gozer's just like,
LOL,
you puny human. Like, yeah.
But yeah, so like I loved the ancient kind of mysteries, and I think I was just wanting more stuff like that. And maybe that's unrealistic. Like, maybe that's not what Ghostbusters is exclusively about. Because there was some of the stuff, like the hokey, metal muncher going around. And that led to some of the action sequences that you weren't even a fan of either. So there were... I liked some aspects of it. And then there were some things that were going, okay, I get it. This is very relevant to the original series. And I think I just kind of learned more about what I liked and I didn't like as far as it relates to Ghostbusters. So I think, like, I'm clearly cheating. If they had gone with some of those more things that I liked, I would have been more of a fan. But I understand that there's a legacy and an origin that, has to be maintained in a sequel of something like this. So it is what it is.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Scale of 0 to 10, sir. Where would you rank the new Ghostbusters?
I think you'll be pleased. Like, I actually, as a side note, I was watching, I don't think it was a trailer, but it was like a little TV spot of the Eternals. And I I just kind of felt some remorse. I thought maybe I went a bit too hard on my grading scale of it, because even when I watched snippets of it, I thought I could see myself viewing this again someday or being interested in the TV show. So my point is, sometimes I think I'm a bit hard, but this one I think I was fair. I gave it a neutral. I give it a 5 out of 10.
Okay. So take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it. So on the a scale of 0 to 10, I give it a 5, and on my how much effort would I put into it scale, I'd put it into streaming. So it's the second lowest. So I wouldn't, want to.
You wouldn't want to pay any additional money for it if it was available to you. Yeah, maybe you'd watch it.
I'm not doing myself any favors. The more I break this down, I think I didn't regret seeing it in theaters, but let's just say, for the sake of my scale, streaming it is more than enough. So if it was free on a streaming site, I'd say great. So that's
you might have regretted it had you paid the money for IMAX.
Yes, maybe.
Okay.
Or I wouldn't pay to see it again. I'm not like you. I'm not going to say I'm seeing it Saturday with my brother and I'm seeing it Sunday with my cousin, and once was enough. So,
which, by the by, was a great deal for me because of my Senate Club thing. But
that thing's paying for itself.
And on a Tuesday. Like it worked out. Brianne and I both went to go see it in IMAX, and my total was $19.99 or something.
Nice. Yeah. So they practically, wow, that's great.
They practically paid me to go.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so where do you rank it?
That's a question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's I've hummed and hawed about this a bunch because I wanted to make sure I believed in the answer I was going to give, and I think I do. I think I'm satisfied with saying this. I give this just an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Had this been OG Ghostbusters all the way, I would have been asking likely to make an exception and do something like a 10.5 out of 10 or something. So, I think for the direction they decided to take it, which I don't know if it was the wrong direction. I mean, don't get me wrong. The movie I'm saying I wish I got might not be the right approach.
Sure.
By any stretch of the imagination.
Sure.
I'm not a fuddy-duddy ritzy filmmaker. And so that's just a fan wanting unlimited barrels of fan service. That's all that is.
Yeah.
But for the direction they went in, I thought they executed pretty good. They did a pretty good job for a movie that I went into with super high hopes. And expectations that I tried to keep down, but were kind of inching their way up.
I'm not critiquing your words. You did try to keep them down. I do believe you, but you were excited. Like you were saying, you were excited about it almost in the same realm as you were The Rise of Skywalker, like when the Star Wars saga completed.
So I had extremely high hopes. But relatively low expectations, I think.
Sure.
Or at least that's what I was hoping to have.
Sure.
So I think for the approach they took, I think they did pretty damn good. Is it the approach? If I could have had my way, is it the approach? Is it the premise I would have went for? No. But in that world, Harold Ramis would still be around, and it would be 4 old guys, talking about how heavy their packs are and how their joints hurt and how, they, remembering it being easier to pee in this suit and just like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just like it. Sure. I think that would have been hilarious. But yeah, you know what? It worked out. It worked out okay. So cool. 8 out of 10.
Cool. Yeah. Respectable.
Yeah. What'd you watch this week?
I think the only thing I watched, I continued the journey in Lost, And man, it's coming to a head. It's so good. Oh, incredible. But the only thing I watched was a Netflix original documentary, Britney versus Spears.
Yes. The internal struggle.
I think most people are familiar with some type of, or some level of knowledge of the family dispute that's been going on with her and her conservatorship. But
I know nothing.
Oh,
I haven't heard of this.
Oh, so yeah,
I think I've seen the documentary, like
advertised.
I've seen it advertised.
Yeah,
but I certainly haven't watched it, and I don't know anything about that.
Okay, so you know what, the documentary was informative, entertaining for what it was, and interesting. Essentially, there's some family dispute where I think it's like classified like as a point in Britney's life, a family member took over in the form of like a conservatorship in what's defined as like an attempt to prevent an individual from like making poor financial decisions or doing poor kind of reckless decisions when they're at a moment of weakness. And the only difference was like it went on for like 12 years, and although she was classified as unable to make like being of sound mind to make decisions, her tour, like her group and family and entourage were still like pushing her out to do like 70 shows in 9 months, and like essentially just making her work to the bone, and people were allegedly profiteering off of her. So it was sounds like quite a sticky, unfortunate situation that she was in.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's rough.
Yeah. But anyway, that's what I watched this week.
Cool.
What did you watch? I'm assuming, can I guess two things you watched this week?
Sure. One of them's wrong.
Oh.
But sure.
Ghostbusters.
Correct?
2.
Incorrect.
Yeah. Cool. What'd you watch this week?
So I watched the first Ghostbusters again.
Sure.
Just as a nice little,
warm up,
grease the memory.
Yep.
So I watched that, and then I watched. Hang on, bear with me. What did I watch? So I didn't watch anything that night. I watched Ghostbusters that night, and I watched. Yeah, okay. So I watched Ghostbusters. I watched the 2002 film, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Whew. Yeah.
In another, time to start refreshing the old think box. I got 5 of them to watch in preparation.
Oh, wait, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Sam Raimi's 3, and then.
Oh yeah.
Andrew Garfield's 2.
Sure.
Yeah. So I did that, and then I've watched the first episode of the new Disney Plus MCU show Hawkeye.
Oh.
Yeah.
How so? How so? Or how is it? Rather?
How so? Well,
it's just saying that.
Paid my bill for Disney Plus. And you know what? It's good. It's been getting some mixed reviews, but I'm interested. I'm taking the bait.
Cool.
So yeah, okay. We'll see where it goes.
Cool.
See where it goes. Wrap this up, sir.
Well, thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate it, whether it's the first time or you're a lifer. Thank you for joining us. Check out our social media pages, like, follow, subscribe. The links are below. Give us a good rate and review wherever you can. We do appreciate it. Share the show, whether it's, you transcribe everything we've said and hand it to a friend of yours, or just share a link with a friend, or give us a like and a share wherever you see us. Just share us. We really appreciate it. Check out our Patreon page, our merchandise page. It's a way to help us cover costs, grow the show, and there's some perks on there that we like to give back to you. And until next time, we'll talk to you later. And just, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something witty to say. The only thing I can think of is just, if you don't know what to do, be more like Paul Rudd.
That's I can I say one thing I forgot to say?
Of course. Yeah.
If you haven't seen Ghostbusters, maybe don't listen to this episode yet, because we're going to review this film like assuming you've seen the new movie. So
and you know what?
So just come back. Like, save it for later and then come back.
If anyone belly aches that they weren't warned, they were just at the end of the episode.
Yeah, just, I listen to all the podcasts I listen to. I listen to the last 60 seconds first.
That's how you do it.
Because you got to know. You got to know if the journey's worth it. Where you're going,
Yeah.